Okay, so I am going through my budgets and I want to use a new spreadsheet that I have sent to the Debt Free Challenge students. And I'm going to go to the month of June. Obviously, it looks empty. Let's just make it a little bit big. It's so tiny. And what I'm going to start with is amending here the sources of income. So there's only 4 tabs. So I'm just going to use these 4 tabs. So I'm going to leave primary job, and then I'm going to leave side hustle, freelance and gigs. I'm just going to make it one-on-one coaching. And then on other income, I'm going to, you can put like bonus or anything like that. So other income and brands. That's what I'm going to put it there. So if I get any brands or if I get like a SARS refund or anything like that, I'll put it on other income. So what I expected, I hope it's not too small. Let's just fill up the page. Okay. So what I expected on the primary job one, I've already done a video on where my income comes from. So it's going to align with this over here. So you can watch that video if you haven't watched it. So I've got my primary job, I expected 38,000. Usually that's my budget for my primary job. And then for my side hustles, excuse me, I expected 14,000. And for my coaching, I expected nothing because I just reopened it, which I know it sounds crazy, but it does take a lot from me. So I'm gonna have to close it again. I know, like chopping and changing, but I reopened it and I love it, but it does take a lot from everything else that I'm doing. So I'm just gonna have to close it again, and I'm not going to close the one-on-one coaching for like digital business. So if you want more about online business, I do have a one-on-one coaching for that. Usually my FLA members sign up for that, but you can as well if you want to just talk about that. But the budget coaching is just takes too much from me. So I'm going to reclose it, unfortunately. And then other brands and income. So those are things like, so other income and brands. So those are things like YouTube. And now I've got Facebook, as you saw in my previous video, those kind of things. I was expecting at least 5,000 Rand. So I was expecting an income of 50,000 Rand. And then over here on budgeted, so I work on a framework. So this is the framework that I use, which is the 50-20-20-10. So I want 50% of this income over here to go to needs. So 50% or less. So if we take this income, so 57,000, and we divide it by 2, divided by 2. So the budget here should be 28,500. And then same thing with wants. You want it to just be 20% of your money. So 57,000 times 20%, 20%. So that's 11,400. Debt, you want that to be 10%. So 57,000 times 10%. So that is 5,700. And then 20% again, so another 11,400. Okay, so now that over here should match the income. So that amount over here that you budgeted on your spending should match how much you have, because now you've divided it with 50%, 20%, 10%, 20%. So now we're not going to touch the black fonts, we only touch the blue fonts. So now we're going to go onto a transaction log and actually start tracking how much we're spending every single month. And if it's your first month of you actually doing your budget tracking, I don't want you to stress about, oh my gosh, what's the percentage? I want you to just track accurately. And then at the end of the month, you will see what are the red flags, what do you need to work on, and then you'll be able to create an accurate budget the following month, but also you will know what you need to work on. You will know what is the problem. So I'm going to populate all my budget, which is from my other spreadsheet, onto this one over here. You can put the dates if you want to. Unfortunately, with Excel, it doesn't want me to like double tap and put the date unless I just don't know the formula. So I'm still studying Excel, but I think I've got an understanding of how it works. Google Sheets is much easier. I enjoy Google Sheets more, but I'm going to learn Excel and then become pro as well on this one. You can learn everything. Anything you want to learn, you can learn. Okay, so I'm going to start with all the incomes actually. So I'm just going to type it as salary 1, and I think I'm going to have salary 2. Then I'm going to have like YouTube and Facebook and stuff. I don't know. Should I just call it like social media? I think so. And then coaching. I'm looking at my budget planner. Yeah, these are the only 4 incomes I have received. So now on category, when you drop down over here, we're going to put it under income. So income. Okay. So now because it's an income, you're also going to drop down here on subcategory. What source of income is this? So salary 1 for me is going to be primary job. Salary 2, I'm going to make it the side hustle. Social media is my other income and brands. And then coaching is obviously going to be the one-on-one coaching. Okay, then you're going to add the amount over here. So primary job 1, we received 43779. You can add notes if you want to over here. Notes like, for example, for me was my financial planning plus my FLA. And I did say last month's budget reset, I did say that this one is going to be higher this month because of last month there was a payment that did not come through. So that's why there's a high income. So we had budgeted 38,000, but we actually made 43,000, which means we made 5,000 more than what we had budgeted, which is nice. Okay, and then side hustle, which is my digital product. So I'm just going to round off to 11,800 Rand. And then other income and brands, it was 6,738. And then the one-on-one is 3,000. Okay, so income done. So actually what we received is 65,317. So now we're going to use that to then change now the budget. So I'm just going to quickly do the calculations again here. So 65,317, and if we go times 50% is 32,658.50. And then again 65,317 times 20%, which is 13,063.40 cents, and it's going to be the same for savings and investing, 13,063. And then what is left, which is debt, is 10%. So 65,317 times 10%, which is 6531.70. Okay, so it should match up with what you received. Now, I know you're probably thinking, gosh, Norma, I have to pay more than 6,530 into debt right now. That is okay. This is just a framework to use to challenge yourself that I want to get to the point where 50% of my money goes to needs, 20% of my money goes to savings and investing, and only 10% goes to debt. So if you're more than 10%, if you're like 40% into debt, it is okay, but you know where you stand right now, and you're challenging yourself to reduce as much debt as possible to get to the point where only 10% of your hard-earned money that you work for in the past 30 days of this month, 10% only goes to debt, and then the rest takes care of my family, my future, my needs, my wants, my tithing, just basically all of that. Tithing for me is part of needs. Okay, now that we have literally structured our budget with our income and we have structured it in our 50, 20, 20, 10 goals, even if you're not going to be 50, 20, 20, 10, but you have structured it that way, now I want you to start tracking your expenses. So every time you spend money, you track it. So I'm just going to populate all my spending. So we've got giving, and then we've got rent and utilities, which I'm going to start combining. I'm going to start combining rent and utilities, life insurance, car insurance, funeral cover, retirement annuity, endowment, unit trust, CapCut, school. This is going to be a lot of my subscriptions now. Canva, Apple Bill, YouTube, Netflix, gym, ChatGPT, groceries, week 1. I'm going to do week 1, 2, 3, and 4. Transport, eating out, buffer, which is your miscellaneous spending, career guy, Gala, KB, Norma, our allowances, personal loan 1 and 2, emergency fund, Christmas, school fees, camera. I'm going to add challenges. Actually, I want it to be the 100 challenge. All right, team. So those are all my expenses. That's where all my money goes every single month. So now you need to ask yourself, Out of all of these expenses, what category do they fall under? So giving falls under needs, rent fall under needs, utilities fall under needs, life insurance is needs, car insurance is needs, funeral cover is needs, retirement is saving and investing, endowment is saving and investing. Unit trust is saving and investing. CapCut, it's going to go under needs. I use it to edit all my videos, so I need it because of my work. School is needs. It's where I host my financial literacy academy. I need it. Canva is a need as well. I use it for my business. Apple Bill is a need. YouTube, it's also a need. It's part of my business as well. Netflix is a want. Gym is a need for now. I don't have the discipline to work out at home as yet, so gym helps me stay disciplined to go and work out. ChatGPT is I'm going to say a want. I can actually use the free one, but it does really help my business, the one. Groceries, obviously food is a need. Week one, week two, week three, and week four. Transport is a need. We need transport to take Scarlett to school, to go to the gym, those kind of things. Even though we work from home, it is, still a need. Eating out is a want, which I don't want to see eating out in the month of July. Buffer is a want. I need to teach myself to stick to my budget and stop with this miscellaneous spending. Career guys, a need. Obviously, I need to send orders. Skylar's stuff is a want. KB's allowance. It's a want, but it was his birthday, so I used some of the money to buy him a present. Normal allowance is also a want. Personal loan is debt. Personal loan too is debt. And then emergency fund, those are all savings. These down here are all savings. So this is basically you telling yourself what is a need in your life and what is a want. And now we're going to have a look and see out of the needs, what is your survival number? Okay, so obviously we're not going to do a drop down over here because none of these are income. We've already sorted the income part. So now we're going to populate the amounts. How much did you spend on each, or how much are you spending if you are tracking every single day? Please try and track every single day. Okay, so giving 1.5, rent 12,250, utilities, I'm just going to say 2,000, was around 1,900 and some change. Life insurance 970. These are things that don't usually change month to month. You will see your stuff that doesn't really change month to month. 70 for car insurance. Funeral cover is 150. Retirement annuity 1.5. Endowment 1,000. Unit trust 500. You can also add like notes here if you want to, like education, investing. Like you can add those kind of things just to remind yourself. But I already know my budget. CapCut is 100 Rand. CapCut is 100 Rand. School is 380. Canva is 150. Apple Bill is 230. YouTube is 110. Netflix is 100 Rand. Disney Plus is 159. ChatGPT is 399. I messed up there. This is Gym, not Disney Plus, my bad. I didn't actually have Disney Plus this month. Gym is 700. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, and then food. Let's see how much we spent on food. We had a high spend last week on food, so that was interesting. Okay, so week one we spent 940, week two we spent 800 Rand, week four we spent 700 Rand, and then, week three we spent 700 Rand, and then week four we spent 1,400 Rand. We needed more stuff. Transportation. Okay, so transportation, we spent 1,000, and then for eating out, we spent 550, and then for buffer, we spent 400 Rand, and then for career guy, we spent 500 Rand, and then for Scala, let's see, she's got her swimming, which is 650, and then for me, my allowance is also 600, and KB's also 600. Okay, and then personal loan 1, we spent 2,340, and then personal loan 2, we spent 6,000. Okay, and then saving and investing. Okay, so for emergency fund, we put away 1,000. For Christmas, we also put away 1,000. For school fees, which is part of the 100 challenge. So I think I'm going to take this one off actually because now I'm getting confused. So let's remove that. And then school fees, we saved 130 plus 140 is 270. It's a saving challenge. Actually, let me add that here, 100 challenges. And then camera, we actually didn't save anything this month. Okay, so we also made extra payment. So I'm going to put debt payments here, and I'm going to put it onto debt, and I'm just going to check quickly. We're sitting on 3. So currently the debt is down to, which obviously now we're going to go into the debt tab. So currently the debt is down to 32. Did I take a screenshot? I didn't. I'm going to share it on the screen for you so you can see. And I'm doing the 100 debt-free challenge, 100-day debt-free challenge. Oops. It's sitting on 32,000. Let me just update this. Updating my budget book. 930. So how much we paid was 6,070 as extra. Okay, so this is basically an overview of my spending for the month of June. And now we're going to move on to this side over here that has auto-populated itself. So as you can see, it's telling you that I have spent 37% of my income to needs, 5% went to wants, 22% went to debt. Obviously, want to drop this down to 10. I ended up spending, way more than I would like to spend. So I would like to spend 6,500 if my budget is 65,000. I actually spent 14,000 on debt. So 22% went to debt and then 8% went to savings. So now with what's left over, which is around 17,000, which is cash flow, some of it is going to roll over to next month as income. So July is going to start off already with an income of like 12,000, for example. And that's the thing with being self-employed. You have to be smart with those kind of things and not always work month to month. Like the work that I do, it's going to pay me this month. No, try and be always a month ahead. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a portion of this and make it an income for next month. And then I will take like another portion, maybe 3,000 Rand, and put it into debt. So basically, out of this income here, a portion of it will go to debt in the month of July because I'm closing a month of June. And a portion of it will be income to take care of some bills that happen on the first of the month of July, which is what we are in now. So there will be a July reset showing you that. So if I go to July right now, 17,500, just make this a little bit big. What did I make it here? 170. Okay, so if I go to July over here and I go description and I go salary, roll over, the category is going to fall under is income. Subcategory is going to be a primary job, and then the income is going to be 17,500. And then out of this 17,500 Rand, 3,000 of it. So if I go here and I go debt extra, and I'm going to go debt, and obviously it's not an income subcategory. So now I'm going to go 3,000 of this is going to go into it, which is what I'm then going to transfer for day 6 for the debt-free challenge update on YouTube, my usually daily challenges update that I do. I hope that makes sense. I know it's a lot, but that is basically the month of June for you. So this is how much we have actually received. This is how much we had budgeted. We received 8,000 more than what we had planned, which is nice, which is why then I have a rollover income that's going to fall into now the month of July. The goal is to stick to your budget so that you can be able to roll over. Because if you don't stick to your budget, you're seeing extra money sitting in your account and you're just using it, misusing those funds. And also you can already see where my income goes. And the goal is to drop down this debt income over here, this debt percentage, over here to around 10% and to increase the savings and investments. But I cannot increase the savings and investments right now as aggressively as I'd like to because the focus is also on dropping this debt. This 3,000 that I've rolled over to January over here to go to debt, in the near future when I'm debt free, these 3,000s, these 2,000, anything that I'm rolling over will then be going to savings and investing, which is building wealth. So for now, I'm taking care of my retirement, I'm taking care of my endowments, so my child's education, I'm taking care of the short-term goals, the unit trust, as much as I can with what I can. But when I've paid off my debt, I will be aggressively putting money into that, into building wealth, because I will be debt free. And it's all because my goal right now is to pay off debt. Could just aggressively invest and not worry about debt. but it's like pouring water in a bucket full of holes. You're aggressively investing and you're making around 10% per year or a little bit more, but you've got a personal loan that is taking over 20% of your money. Okay, so that is my budget. So now I'm going to move on to my debt. Again, if you want this, that's available in the debt free challenge as well. This spreadsheet, I don't think I want to sell this spreadsheet. It's going to be available in my masterclasses, in my debt free challenge. So I'll show you what's in the masterclass on the screen over here. But basically, you have a holistic understanding of your personal finance, everything that you need for your personal finance, and you're also going to have access to this one. Okay, so for my debt free dashboard, so the first thing we need to do is put the names of the debt. So I'm going to put FNB personal loan 1, and then FNB personal loan 2. Did I not put personal loan? Okay, so these are the two that I'm focusing on for now, and I'm going to put the details over here, and then I'm going to choose whether I'm doing snowball or avalanche. Okay, the starting balance for personal loan 1 was 81,100 Rand at the beginning of this year. The starting balance for personal loan 2 was around 400,000, which it hasn't moved much, but it's okay. That is not the focus right now. So it was around 4,000, I can't even remember, 4,010, somewhere there. 400. 400 and 1,000. I'm just going to leave it like that just because I don't know the actual figure. That debt is the stress one, but I'm not going to worry too much about it right now. Okay, so interest rate on this one over here, the personal loan, is 28.5%. Interest rate on this one over here, the second one, is 10%. It has dropped, which I'm so thankful for. And then the minimum payment is 2,340, and the minimum payment for this one here is now 6,000, dropped from 9,000 to 6,000. Okay, and now I am going to choose the avalanche method because I'm targeting the one with the highest interest first. Okay, so as you can see, just highlighted which one I am focusing on right now. So obviously I have made a few payments. The current balance is not this one. So I'm going to update the extra payments, and I'll do that over here on the logging tab, on the logging section. So weird because I'm going to have to say in May, I paid this amount just to drop it down to what we started off May with. So by May, we had already paid 42,230 into this date over here. So I'm going to put the date of May. I'm just going to say 1st of the 5th, 2026. And I'm going to put the debt name as personal loan 1, and the extra payment is 42,230, just so it can update. And as you can see, the current balance is now showing what we started the month of June with. This is what I was owing at the beginning of the month of June. So now in June, so I'm just going to put 30th of June. And actually what I can do is I can put the actual day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4 as I am sharing my journey, which let's first put then the debit date, which was 430, but there's also interest. Interest was 817, I think. So I'm just going to estimate just because I don't want to open the app right now and all of that. So mine is 817. Or was it 871? Now I think it was 871. Mine is 871, which was interest. So out of this 2,000, out of this over here, and as you can see, it's already showing me that the interest is actually 223 according to this interest rate, which makes sense because of those admin fees and those kind of things. So I'm going to use this one over here. So if I go 2340 subtracted by that amount over here, which is 923. So what we paid as a monthly payment that just debit off my account is 1417. Okay, so it has updated here. The balance is 37453. Okay, and then I'm not going to put the date anymore. I'm just going to click on personal loan 1 again, and then I'm going to just put how much we have paid extras. So currently the balance is 32,930 as we end June. Actually, it's July now, but I'll just still use this balance just to make it easy for this video as well and for my so many numbers. So I'm going to go that balance of 37,453 minus 32,930, which means the extra we have paid is 45 23. Okay, so now it has updated correctly. And on the notes side over here, I'm going to say day 1 to day 5, just so I can remember, because I know I'm going to track it every single day. Okay, so here we go. So now we have this to go. This is where we started. This is how much we have paid. And as you can see, as the balance drops, the interest also drops. But if I had to remove all of these, the interest goes all the way down up to 1,926. So out of the 2,300 that you've paid, 1,900 of that went into interest. All right, so now that we have reduced the actual balance of what we owe, the interest is also going down, which means now your monthly payment, a large portion of that is going to the balance. And then there is small amounts that's going to the bank to make the bank rich, which is the goal up until we pay it off. Okay, so the last one that we're going to look at over here is okay. So the last one we're going to look at over here is my 100 envelope challenge. So I've got my challenge over here, and I'm going to just update what I have saved, which I've saved all the way to 140. I haven't actually put in the 140 money, but I've got it right here. And I've got the 100. I've got the 100 and I've got the 40 rands in here. So I'm going to stuff it in my binder over here, and then I will just record a Instagram short or YouTube short for that, but I'm going to update it while I have you guys here. So if it's not ticking like this, you're just going to click on that arrow and click on true, which means you have saved the money. So I need to go all the way down to this 140 over here. So it's easier on Google Sheets because it ticks. But sometimes, yeah, sometimes it does tick like how I've just done over here, but sometimes it doesn't. And I don't know what's the problem, but I'm going to keep learning Excel up until I know what am I doing. Okay, all done. So now what we have totally saved is the 1,050, which is exciting. And the debt dashboard is up to date. I'm going to update this every single day as I do the 100-day challenge. And my June budget is closed and done, and we've rolled it over to July. So I will be back with a July budget towards the end of July. But for now, I'll be updating you daily and weekly on how my debt journey is looking, and I hope you're enjoying that. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. I would love to have you in my community if you need more guidance, because this is part of a module that's in the debt-free challenge. So this video is like a portion of what the debt-free challenge is about. So if you need more guidance, then definitely join the debt-free challenge, and I'll have that link below. Bye.